just a quick heads up at the beginning of the series. I am wearing the light blue latest Napoli home kit, but when I use my green screen, it switches to a really dark, rich royal blue. So just to let you know, that's why the kit doesn't look as it should do, but it is actually the proper this season's Napoli home kit. So just a quick note, because I know if I didn't mention it, the comment section would be filled with, "That's a fake shirt, Ches, that's not a real Napoli shirt." But it is, I promise you. Now, I can't start a Napoli career mode without showing this clip first. I get goosebumps every single time I watch that video. It's unbelievable. I love the way the Napoli stadium announcer, Decibel Bellini, screams the names of the players out, and the way that the fans scream it back at him. Obviously, Gonzalo Higuain isn't at Napoli anymore, but we'll be hoping for plenty of this season. From Dries Mertens, Jose Callejon and Marek Hamšík, three of our best players here at Napoli. So this is going to be an introduction episode. We'll have a look at what the board expect from us this season. We'll have a look at the side that we have at our disposal to start off with. And you guys can start hitting me up with transfer suggestions. Do make sure you drop the video a like if you enjoy and you're looking forward to this Napoli series. Subscribe to the channel too to make sure you don't miss out on any of it. And hit that little notification bell so you get an alert every single time a video goes live, whether it be this series or the career mode RTG, which of course will continue to go on. If you want to know what and when my videos go up, there's an updated schedule in the description down below. This is listed as career mode 2 and the RTG is listed as career mode 1 on that schedule, so you'll know exactly when these videos will go up, and that schedule is shown on the About tab of the channel page as well. Basically, this series is replacing the My Player series, so in brief, it's coming out at 6:30 on a Tuesday evening and a Thursday evening, and at midday on a Saturday and Sunday. This one, obviously, you'll be seeing at midday on Saturday, the 25th, question mark? Saturday the 25th of March 2017. So, Napoli. Not the best side in Serie A. Obviously, that's Juventus, but one of the chasing pack, Napoli. In our pre-season tournament, we have Wellington Phoenix, Chelsea and Bayer Leverkusen. I want to raise as much money as I possibly can in pre-season by doing as well as we possibly can in that pre-season tournament so that we have as much money as possible to spend in this window. I used the 60% transfer budget boost at the beginning of the save, so we have £50 million at our disposal, plus the potential for another 9 to be added on with that pre-season tournament if we win it. So we could have up to £60 million to spend in this window, should we decide to keep everybody that we currently have at the club at the club. With regards to board objectives, as that's the most important thing we want to be doing this season, or matching this season, youth development is a low expectation here at Napoli, so I will look to bring through some youth talent if I possibly can. I've gone out and hired 2 youth scouts already, and obviously I try and bleed through the young Italian talent, seeing as we're in Italy. They want me to grow just 1 youth academy player, but at least 5 points overall, and play them in 5 games, either as a starting 11 player or have them coming in as a sub. That shouldn't be too much of a problem. We'll try and get a youth player that has good potential and then bleed them into the side and play them perhaps in some Coppa Italia games, some of the games against the lesser sides in Italy, perhaps in the league as well. Brand exposure is set to high. They want us to get £68 million from shirt sales. Well, they've already got 44 from me from buying this one, so we're nearly there. Just another £67,999,956 to go. Wow, that was maths that I didn't expect to be that hard. So we should be able to do that quite easily, especially if we make a couple of signings in this opening window. That shouldn't be a problem matching that goal. Financially, no objectives whatsoever, so we can be as carefree with our money as we want. That's very good, because I do have a habit to be quite carefree when spending money. In Europe, they want us to reach the quarter-finals of the Champions League, which is very much attainable. That's definitely a doable achievement for the club, and I'd like to go a little bit further perhaps in the first season. We'll have to wait and see how we get on. The most important thing, though, with regards to the board, and probably for me as well, is domestic success. They want us to reach the semi-final of the Coppa Nazionale, the Coppa Italia, and they want us to get a Champions League place in Serie A. Now, obviously, we want to be pushing for the title, but they don't mind if we don't do it season 1. As you can see from the long-term goal, they'd like us to win Serie A, or Calcio A as it's listed in FIFA 17 this year without the licensing, within the first 2 seasons. So we can go for the title season 1, but it's not the end of the world if we don't get there. We can perhaps concentrate short-term on cup football and go for the league in season 2. We'll, of course, play it by ear and decide throughout the season which ones we're going to prioritise, depending on how we're getting on in each of those different areas. But after having a look at the board expectations, let's have a look and see what players we've got at our disposal to meet those board expectations. I'll sort by position, so we can go through position by position and see where we need to strengthen and what the strength in depth is like in each position. Goalkeeper, this is where you guys come in. I'm really going to need your suggestions throughout the entirety of this squad. Goalkeeper, currently number 1 is Pepe Reina. 33 years old now, though, and 83 rated, which is a slight downgrade from his original 84 rated card. Rafael is 74 rated at 26 years of age. Not the best. And Luigi Sepe is 74 rated at 25 years of age. Neither of which really make me want to move them up to a first-team goalkeeper. Yes, I could train them, but I'd definitely contemplate selling them both on to bring in someone else to replace Pepe Reina at the end of Season 1. So maybe we could sell Rafael, sell Luigi Sepe, and bring in another goalkeeper from... I'd like to buy the majority of my players from Serie A. I'd like to buy domestic if I can. We may even find that we get a youth player that we could call up in the place, and that would actually save us a lot of money, and then we can train the youth player. But we'll start with Pepe Reina in goal, and I am genuinely contemplating selling both Luigi Sepe and Rafael to replace them with someone else. I'll need your feedback there. At right back, obviously El Said Hisai is the number 1 right back at the club. Is he... Oh, this is going to test me. Is he Albanian? He's Albanian, right. Okay, I did get that right. 79 rated at 22 years old. Great potential. Obviously going to be the best right back at the club. Christian Maggio is a long-time servant here at Napoli. 34 years old now, but still will be very influential in the side, both at right back and on the right-hand side of midfield. He doesn't say he can play there, but earlier on in his career, he was played further forward, and as he's gotten older, he's drifted further back towards the defensive line, but still a very good squad player and will come in handy for rotation purposes with regards the Coppa Italia and the Champions League, etc. I'm thinking about, depending on whether Maggio's stats start to drop early on or not, I'm thinking about leaving the right-back situation until next season. We'll do what we can with Hisai and Maggio, and then next year we'll look to improve at right-back. That's what I'm thinking, because they're both good enough. Hisai will grow, and Maggio is good enough as a backup. We have Igor Lasicki out on loan currently, but 56 rated. At 21 years of age, he's just not going to be good enough ever, really, to be fair. So, unfortunately, I'll sell him on when he comes back from loan from Carpi. At centre-back, we have a number of options. Kalidou Koulibaly will be my number 1 starting centre-back alongside Raul Albiol, who's 30 years old now, but still very capable and very good at the back. We do have some young talent, though, in Maksimovic at the age of 24, and I might consider starting him over Albiol, depending on how Raul Albiol plays in pre-season. We also have Vlad Chirises, who's obviously 78 rated and 26 years old, and Tonelli is 79 rated at 26 years old as well. He's recently joined the club from Empoli for £11.5 million. So at centre-back, I don't think we need to strengthen that much just yet. We have the ability to play 2 strong starting centre-backs already. Koulibaly will grow, of course, being 83 rated at 25. Albiol is higher rated than anyone else we have, but the others are younger and have obviously the potential to grow as well. Most notably Maksimovic being higher rated than the other 2 and 2 years younger. So centre-back looks pretty solid as well for the time being. At left-back, We also have a youngster out on loan in Sebastiano Lupuerto, but I'm not sure about him, to be completely honest. Again, a lot of the youngsters that Napoli have don't seem like they're quite going to be good enough, and we might need to rely on the youth scout system to bring through some better talent. At left back, we have Fauzi Goulam. I've been told by someone on Twitter that if I sell Goulam, they will murder me. So Goulam's going to be my #1 left back at the club, and to be fair, similarly with Hisai, 79 rated, a little bit older at 25, but very, very capable and a very experienced and very good left back to play on the left-hand side of our defensive line. We have Ivan Strinic as well, who's 28 years old, 74 rated. I'm not too sure about him, but he's only valued at £2.2 million. There's not really much I could do there by replacing him. Perhaps, again, we'll use him as a backup, similarly with Maggio, and maybe hope for a young wing-back to come through the scout system. So basically, in defence, I'm not thinking of changing up too much to start off with. I think we're okay with regards to our starting 11 that's very strong, and the backup options are good enough for this first season. We do have Zuniga, of course, out on loan currently at Watford. Rapid, but not that good in the tackle, but technically still pretty decent with regards his ball control and his passing, etc. So could probably do a job for us next season as well, depending on, of course, if his stats start to drop. Now, the most exciting prospects in the side come in central midfield. We have 18-year-old Amadou Diawara, who is 76 rated at just 18 years of age. A central holding midfielder, and I'm very excited to see how he grows throughout this season. He's just been brought into the club from Bologna for £7 million, and he's going to be very, very good. I'm very much looking forward to playing with him. Obviously, we have the experience and our highest rated player in Marek Hamsik, 85 rated at 28 years of age, £27 million his valuation. He's been at the club for a decade. He's a superb player and will be the first name on my team sheet with regards to my midfield all season long. Piotr Zielinski is 22 years of age and 79 rated, another great prospect. Here's where I'm torn, because we have Jorginho at 81 rated and Alan at 80 rated that are slightly older than Zielinski, but are also slightly higher rated. So we have great prospects. We've got 5 central midfielders that are fantastic. We're not going to need to buy any central midfielders whatsoever until perhaps Hamsik's stats start to drop after a couple of seasons once he reaches 30 years of age, because Diawara is young and will grow. Zielinski is young and will grow. Jorginho will... Well, 24 is still quite young, and he'll grow as well. And similarly with Alan, he'll grow. And they're both, these two especially, are very, very good all-round players. Alan, decent in the pass, great in the tackle. Jorginho, great with the pass, decent in the tackle. And then Zielinski looks like he's going to be someone that could grow to become a great all-round player. And Diawara is going to be a rock in midfield at the back. And also, to go with them, actually, is Marco Rog. He's 20 years of age, but he's 76 rated, and he looks like a ready-made Marek Hamsik replacement, doesn't he? If he can grow, and we can train him perhaps slightly throughout the season, he's already really good at passing, and his ball control and dribbling is pretty decent too. I'm interested to see what his skill moves are. 3-star, 3-star. Not the best, but he looks like he could be a pretty decent Marek Hamsik replacement, doesn't he? So, central midfield, I have no worries whatsoever in this team. No changes will happen in central midfield. We do have a number of youngsters out on loan, but none of them really seem like they're going to be good enough. Leandrinho is at the club and not out on loan, but I will send him out on loan. 65 rated at 17 years of age. Not sure what his potential is. He says showing great potential, which is, what, mid to late 80s maybe? I'm not sure. I can't quite remember the scale of which the potential goes at. But we also have Jonathan de Guzman out on loan, and he could come back next season and be a bit part player, or we could sell him on to raise some extra funds. We also have Roberto Insigne, who's out on loan currently at Latina, but again, 69 rated at 22 years of age, just not going to be good enough, unfortunately. On the right-hand side of midfield, by default, they play a 4-3-3 here at Napoli, and I'll probably stick to that formation to start off with. Jose Callejon is obviously going to be my starting right-sided midfielder, but we only have that one option on the right-hand side of midfield, although we have 4 left midfielders. Zerbin, though, will go out on loan, but Giaccherini, 78 rated at 31 years of age. I'm not sure whether to keep him or sell him on. I'm really undecided, to be completely honest. He's only just arrived from Sunderland, so he won't be able to be sold on, so I'll have to keep him. I didn't realise that. £8.5 million. So he could be used as backup, but obviously Dries Mertens and Lorenzo Insigne, I want them both in the starting lineup, but I also want Jose Callejon in the starting lineup as well, which means Dries Mertens will probably start at striker, and players like Leonardo Pavoletti, who's new in this season from Genoa, I think. I'm not sure. You'll have to correct me if I'm wrong. And Arkadija Milik in from Ajax, of course, for £17 million. They're going to struggle for first-team football to start off with. Pavoletti doesn't look like he's the sort of player that I'd get on with, personally. So I might look to sell him on in January. Milik, I'm keen on trying. But obviously, with the form of Dries Mertens in real life, I want him to start up top. But if Milik... If I, for whatever reason, want to try and Milik up top, that would mean I would then have Giaccherini, Insigne, Mertens and Callejon to play in wide areas. But I might not get on with Milik, which means I'd want to play Dries Mertens at striker and I would need another winger. So I think a wide midfielder, especially considering Giaccherini's 31 years old, I think a wide midfielder is the most important potential signing for this series right now. The striker situation we can deal with in January. I'd probably sell Pavoletti on. Apologies if you're a Napoli fan and you're a fan of him, but I'm not that keen. Milik hopefully will do well for us. He's got the potential to grow as well. He's only 22, so he's going nowhere. But obviously, Dries Mertens and Lorenzo Insigne and Jose Callejon will be our most important front three players to start the season off. So in defence, I don't think we need much change at this stage. Although, should we have any money spare after we've made a signing out wide up top, then... I would contemplate buying another rotation right back or left back. Centre back, don't need to worry about that whatsoever. Goalkeeper is something that I will leave open to you. I'm not sure what to do there. Again, it depends what our youth scouts come up with. And centre mid, don't need to worry about that whatsoever. Probably throughout the entirety of the save. We have 5 or 6 midfielders that are going to be perfect for us here at Napoli. They started with a flat midfield 3, but I've changed to a 4-3-3 with one holding midfielder so we can get Diawara playing in that deeper role, and hopefully he can grow more and more as the year goes on and become just a superb holding midfielder. I will go and play now our first game of the pre-season tournament against Wellington Phoenix, so you've got some gameplay in episode 1. I will have to record episode 2 ahead of time, so I'll play Leverkusen and Chelsea in tomorrow's episode whilst you guys continue to give me your suggestions. It's rather unfortunate timing in that I'm starting a new series in a 2-week period where I'm actually in the process of moving house. So I'm having to record ahead a little bit, but as is the case with all of my career mode series, you guys are instrumental in the decision making with regards to which players come into our club. So please do hit me up with as many suggestions as you possibly can. Like I say, I would prefer to sign domestic if I can, so from within Serie A, but if there is a standout player from outside the Italian leagues, then obviously I would consider them. But we have £50 million to spend. £50 million to spend, plus perhaps a little bit more, depending on how we get on in this pre-season tournament. I'm not thinking of selling anyone on other than maybe the 2 goalkeepers to raise some more funds. So that's kind of all the money we're going to get, unless I get an astronomical offer for someone that I wouldn't like. I'm kind of 50-50 on, but I don't really think there's anybody I'm 50-50 on, really, other than perhaps the 2 rotation wing-backs. But we've a strong starting squad. We know exactly what we want. And we know exactly what the board want as well. And it's just a case of whether we can achieve that or not. Let's jump into this game against Wellington Phoenix. Like I say, drop the video a like if you're enjoying. Subscribe to the channel too to make sure you don't miss out on any further content. And let's try this Napoli team out for the very first time. Gulam into Diawara. Hamsik back to Diawara. I'm putting him in that CDM role, but he's already getting involved further up the field. Dries Mertens with a nice turn. The shot into the back of the net may have taken a slight deflection, but after 11 minutes... the main man, Dries Mertens, who's been unbelievable for Napoli in real life this season, gets the first goal of the series. It had to be him, really, didn't it? It just had to be him. Nice little Berber spin. Did it take a deflection? It did, off the defender's backside. Keeper managed to dive the right way as the deflection came early on in the ball's flight path, but he wasn't able to stop it. Cue the stadium announcer, Dries! And then the crowd, Mertens! 1-0 Napoli! Forward to Diawara, who is absolutely loving getting forward, and Callejon, oh, where's that going? Very nearly, very nearly made it 2-0. I tried to get that across the box, it didn't quite work. Gulam to take the corner. I don't actually know if we've got a free kick specialist or a dead ball specialist in the side. Dries Mertens has okay free kicks. Hamsik has okay free kicks, but nobody really stands out. Gulam's quite tall, actually, so let's put someone like Lorenzo Insigne on the corner, because being like 5'4", he's not going to be winning any headers, is he? That's a decent delivery, though, and the keeper's missed it, and Thurs will just smack it away as far as he possibly can. It's not actually going to go out for a throw to us, unfortunately, but we are dominating here in the opening stages. Obviously, Wellington Phoenix aren't going to be the toughest test we're going to face in pre-season. We are playing on Legendary, of course, so it's not going to be very easy this season because it's the hardest difficulty setting, but this particular game I'm not expecting too many problems from. The real test in pre-season will be against Chelsea in Game 1 of tomorrow's episode, Game 2 of this pre-season tournament, and Bayer Leverkusen will be a tough test as well. I need to check, actually, and I will check after this game, what our Champions League group looks like as well, because of course I think Napoli are in the Champions League this season. In fact, I might be mistaken. It might be Europa League for Napoli this season. I will check. No, it said Champions Cup, didn't it, in the board expectations. So we're definitely in the Champions League. But who is in our group, I'm not sure. We will find out after the game. But for now, we'll keep pushing for this second goal. And Jose Callejon could give us it here, but he gets caught and penalty given. Was it? It may have been Marek Hamsik, actually, that was in the box there. Couldn't quite make it out. I thought it was Callejon. The referee just telling the man off, but not going to book him. It was Marek Hamsik, not Callejon. Gets the shot in, gets caught as he's taking it. Penalty given. Who's got the best pens in the side? Insigne was 61. Dries Mertens was 78. It'll be Dries Mertens to score his second goal of pre-season in just the first half an hour of it. Sick penalty. Dries Mertens does it again. 28th minute. Napoli 2, Wellington Phoenix 0. But it was always going to be a bit one-sided in this first game. Apologies, Wellington Phoenix, but you were just never going to stand a chance in this one. Zielinski. Oh, it's a lovely ball into Insigne. And Dries Mertens is there to finish it off. Oh, I have a funny feeling we're going to be scoring a lot of goals with Dries Mertens this season. Again, as I've said a couple of times, it is only lesser opposition in Wellington Phoenix, but still, the quality of finish from Dries Mertens from that particular one is just top draw. He's going to be so good for us. It's going to be so good for us. I'm so excited about this series. This Napoli team are playing extremely well. I'm actually really enjoying the 4-3-3. Diawara is rock solid in that holding role, and he likes to get forward as well. So I actually have quite a bit of support with my smaller striker, with people to play off him. Insigne is out on this left-hand side, and his dribbling is just next level. So he's been very, very fun to play with so far. And, well, Jose Callejon is just pure speed, so he's going to be decent as well, and a more physical option out wide. This team is so good. We're going to do so well this season, and in this series as a whole. I'm absolutely over the moon with how they've played so far. I was unsure as to how I'd feel playing with the team in this formation, but I feel so solid. Again, Chelsea tomorrow will be the bigger test, but as a first impression, they've made a very good one. Callejon, go down the line there to Hisai, actually pull it back to Callejon. There's Diawara. Through the middle there is Marek Hamsik. Runners on either side, but we'll go solo. Marek Hamsik, strike and a half. 4-0. Wellington Phoenix just can't cope. Unfortunately, the Australian League just doesn't have the quality of Serie A, so it seems. Although that's not really much of a shock to anyone. Dries Mertens, I took off after he scored that third goal. I brought on Pavoletti up top, and he's been pretty dead so far. So I'm definitely going to lean towards Arkadiusz Milik with regards that rotation striker position, because Dries Mertens clearly is going to be my #1 striker, scoring a hat-trick in his first game. Couldn't have asked for a better start here. 4-0 with 14 or now 13 minutes to go, and Wellington Phoenix actually might get one back here. Wow, everybody missed that, and it's going to go out for a throw-in on the far side. That's a great through ball. Here's Barbarouses, looking to get Wellington Phoenix a consolation goal. Leah. Also nice turn, and he's done me. Oh, and they have got a consolation goal. I couldn't quite close me down quickly enough with Koulibaly. Fair play. He sold me with that turn, and it's a good finish from the edge of the box. They've gotten themselves one back. Celebration might perhaps be a little bit over the top, but I went to commit there with Hamsik, and it's just terrible from me. Thankfully, though, we have a 4-goal lead, or had a 4-goal lead, so it's not going to cause us any problems whatsoever. 4-1 in our first game as Napoli boss. There goes the final whistle. We get a big, confident boosting, dominant performance and victory from our first game as Napoli boss. Very, very pleased with that, especially Dries Mertens. Leverkusen beat Chelsea by 2-0 in the other game in our group. Adelaide United 1, Manchester City 0. Maybe the... Wow, that's ridiculous. Insigne did get injured after 2 minutes in that game, but was able to continue on and push forward, and thankfully, doesn't seem like he's gotten any sort of long-standing injury from that. So I'm very, very pleased to come away with a victory. And I'll throw a couple of those youngsters on the loan list. We'll see if we can move them on in the next episode. Like I say, I'll record episode 2 ahead of time just to ensure that I can keep up with the schedule. So tomorrow we will play Chelsea and Leverkusen, but I won't advance any further on from there to ensure that I can take all of your feedback on board with regards potential signings. Like we say, let me know about the goalkeeper situation. Definitely want a wide midfielder, and I'd contemplate a wing back. Other than that, though, I think we're pretty ready for the season. Drop the video a like if you've enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel to make sure you don't miss out. Let me know in the comment section who to buy, and I'll see you next time.